Okay, so in this tutorial, we'll be going through how to enable HTTPS on the Apache Web Server. So what we will be doing is making sure that HTTPS connections can be made to the Apache Web Server. Of course, this assumes that you've already installed the Apache Web Server HTTPD. If you've not done that, then I suggest you follow the video where I show how to install Apache. It's pretty straightforward. It's very easy. So if you have that installed, then you can go ahead and use this as your tutorial. So you can also check the website for people that want to do it a little bit slower. I'll be moving a little bit fast on the video, but you can go to the website and read through. I've written everything that I'm going to do. You can check all the commands and my explanations for the commands that I'm using on the website, and even the testing. But for now, let me just explain a little bit on HTTPS and what we will be doing. So for us to create a secure connection, an HTTPS connection, we need to generate SSL certificates. Now, the way we'll be doing it here is we'll be creating our own certificates and signing them with our own signature, which is okay if you're working on a local area network and the website is maybe used within the organization locally. It is, however, not advised if you are setting up a website that's going to have public access using this method. It's better you use a certificate authority to create your digital certificate, your SSL certificate, and let them sign it for you, and then they can give you a copy. So this one we're doing it manually, but when we do it this way, just take note that the browser will normally give you an error to tell you that the web server is sending a self-signed certificate. So any user who goes to the website will be told that they can proceed cautiously, because the certificate is not coming from a certificate authority, but rather just from a regular web server. So with that out of the way, we'll go straight into creating this. So we'll start off by first of all creating the SSL certificate. So what we need to do is first of all install ModSSL. So ModSSL is going to be useful because it contains OpenSSL. I think I already have it installed. Yeah, I already have it installed, but if you don't have it installed, it will download and then install it with its dependencies. So once that is done, go ahead and create a folder where we're going to set up the SSL certificates, where we'll store them. You can store them anywhere, just make sure that that location is not easy to tamper with. People should not be able to delete, rename things, or even move things from the directory. So for me here, I'm going to put it in var www.ssl2. So this is what I'll create. Okay, so inside there, I'll also create, I think, another one. So that it's similar to the way I did it on the website. So I'll create a folder called HTML in there, and then I'll go to that directory. Okay, so this is where I am, var www.ssl2. Okay, so now once we're in here, we can then try to create a certificate request. So say OpenSSL req -new key.crt. Okay, so this will ask us for some information like passphrase, our country code with 2 letters. So like that, my province, my city, my company, the organization or unit or department, the host name, my email address, Okay, then a challenge password, I'll just say challenge P. Then the optional company name, I'll just say Swashi Tech. Okay, so when that is done, you will see that there's going to be two files that will be created in the directory, the key CRT and the privkey.pem. Okay, so right now we don't have the actual certificate, not even an unsigned certificate, but we do have what we need because we have the certificate request that can create the certificate and the private key that will help us to later on sign it. So we'll create the certificate file itself by using this command. Okay, so open SSL RSA -in priv key, so it should be exactly the way this one that was generated is privkey.temp, then out main.cert.key. Okay, so this is the one that we want to generate, so this is the one coming out. Okay, we enter a passphrase. So the passphrase, I've just inserted the same one. Then once that is done, we can then try to sign the certificate for about 1 year. So I've already run this. I don't know, I can't see it. Okay, so anyway, we'll say open SSL X509. So X509 is the structure in which the certificate stores the information. So we'll take in the key.crt file, and then we'll be taking out the certificate itself, and then this certificate that we'll take out will be having a signature. Okay, main.cert.key. So it will be having a signature that will be for about 365 days. Normally a year is what we use. Okay, let's see. Open SSL X509 in key.crt, main.cert.crt. Okay, I think I made a mistake here on REQ. So REQ instead of REW. Okay, let's run that. Okay, so it's gone through successfully. So at this point, our certificate file will be self-signed. Okay, so self-signed. So like I mentioned, we're not using the certificate authority here, so we're signing it ourselves. So once we do that, then we are okay. We can then proceed to first of all, let's make sure that the HTTPD is not running. Service HTTPD stop. And then if it's not running, we need to make a copy of the SSL configuration file so that if we make a mistake, we're able to recover from it. So say copy etc httpd conf.d ssl.conf. Okay, ssl.conf. And then for this, we'll make a backup and say etc httpd conf.d ssl2.conf. So that becomes a backup. Then with the backup done, we can then go in and edit the main ssl.conf. All we need to do in the ssl.conf really is find the virtual host section, and then if you've got your domain, you can let me see, this is where it is. If you've got your own domain, you can enable certain sections. So for example, I'll press I here. I'll first of all disable this that says document root. Same thing on the server name here, you can put your domain name. So for example, I'll say swashi.org or swashi.tech, then ; 443, the port number. Then the logs, that's fine. SSL engine on. Okay. The protocol version, SSL protocol or SSL LV3. Okay, so this one should be uncommented. So uncomment by deleting the hash at the front. Then lastly, we just need to make sure that the SSL certificates are pointing to the correct place. So here, the SSL certificate file, we'll modify this. So point it to wherever we generated those files. So firstly, let me save this, and then let's say ls. Okay, so then pwd. So right now we are in var www ssl2 html, and then we need to point to this file, the certificate, and this file, the key. Okay, so those are the two files we need to point to inside this directory. So I'll go back inside there. Okay, and then I to insert, then we can say var www ssl2 html main.cert.crt. So that's the certificate file. Then the key var www var www ssl2 html main.cert.key. So like that. So if you save them in a different location, if you created a different folder and then generated the files from there, you just make sure that you point to wherever that location is. So I'll save this. Then once we save it, we can then run the HTTPS, the HTTPD. So you can say service HTTPD start. Okay. So if there's no error, okay, let's see, it looks like there's an error. Jono CTL minus XEU. Let's see. Okay, not supplied HTTPD service. Syntax error on line 5, ssl.conf. Cannot define multiple listeners on the same IP port. Okay, so that's httpd conf ssl.conf. So let me check line 5 of the ssl.conf. Okay, just a moment. So ssl.conf, where could that be? Okay. Okay, first of all, let me disable this because I'm actually not even using my domain name. I think maybe it's conflicting with this line here. Okay, let me just try that one more time. Okay, still having the same error. Okay, so let me just take one moment to debug this. Okay, so it seems the error, so I've read through the error a couple of times. So what was happening is the service was using the backup configuration file instead of the main configuration file that we are using. So if you see here, you'll see that it was saying it couldn't find the certificate file. Okay, it says the certificate file doesn't exist, and it was saying this because it was using the SSL2 configuration file rather than the one we were configuring. I don't know why that happened, but I think the way I named it must have given a slightly different meaning. I think I should have just said conf2 rather than ssl2.conf. It should have just been ssl.conf2. So because of that, it was picking up this SSL configuration file and using it as part of the configuration file. So the remedy to that, of course, was just to go inside that SSL configuration file. Okay, as you can see, vim/etc httpd conf.d ssl2.conf, and then inside that file, I pretty much did everything that we did in the first file. So because it wasn't picking from that first file, so I've done everything that I did in there. So enabled document root, put the server name, and then I changed the source of the certificate file so that it's picking from the directory where we generated ours, as well as for the public key. So this is pretty much all that I did. So meaning all that I've done is done everything that we did in the configuration, but in the ssl2.conf. So that's in case. So if you come across that problem, that's what will happen. Okay, or that's how you can resolve it. So when you do that, you can then say service HTTPD restart, and then the service should be able to run. And then when it runs, you can then test it out. Just open your browser and then open a connection, but make sure that the connection is opened using HTTPS rather than HTTP. So open it to localhost and then see if it's able to open the connection. Now, like I mentioned, because we're self-signing the certificate here, it means that we will get an error message or a warning. Where's my Firefox? A warning about the fact that the server is providing a self-signed certificate rather than a certificate from a certificate authority. So just keep that in mind. So this is pretty much what we'll do here. So on the browser, we can type HTTPS localhost. Okay. This should be able to open the connection, but with a warning. Okay, so that's a secure connection, as you can see. And then, of course, because the browser knows that self-signed certificates should not be trusted, because we're not using a certificate authority, it's just someone who's created it. So it gives you this warning. So we have to click advanced, and then we say accept risk and continue. Then you'll be able to open the connection. So the connection is secured, okay, but the problem is it's not using a self-sign, it's not using a certificate from a certificate authority, but it's encrypted. Okay, so that's the idea there. So that's pretty much the end of the video. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment if you're going through some trouble, if you want to say something. You can of course read through this whole everything that I have done on the website. Okay, so thank you very much for watching.